Predator Badlands is the newest installment in the Predator franchise. This movie once again directed by Dan Trachtenberg, who's directed, I believe, the last two Predator movies. This movie follows a Predator named Deck. He is the runt of his clan. He's seen as an outcast. He's seen as weak. So in order to prove himself, he travels to a planet that is extremely dangerous, is home to a bunch of very dangerous creatures. He hopes to find one, kill one, bring it back, and prove himself to everyone. Once he lands on this planet, though, he encounters an android named Thea, played by Elle Fanning. She becomes his guide on this planet, helps him find his way, navigate through these creatures, navigate through this planet, and the two form an unlikely alliance. As someone who loves the original Predator and was very impressed by what Dan Trachtenberg did with the movie Prey, I was not very much looking forward to this movie. I saw the trailer. I saw what the Predator looked like. I kind of agreed with everyone that he kind of looked like shit. I just didn't see a reality where this movie was going to be good. But to my surprise, the movie actually didn't receive a lot of really negative response to it, but the movie did get a lot of mixed responses from what I heard anyway. On one hand, you had people saying it is a fresh new look for the Predator franchise. It's the best Predator sequel we've ever gotten. It's fantastic. It's exciting. It's new. And on the other side, you have another group of people saying this completely goes against Predator. It doesn't feel like a Predator movie. They botched what it was. They Disney-fied it, which would make sense because Disney now owns the property to Predator, or the rights to Predator. But either way, when Disney gets their hands on something, well, these days, that doesn't always mean good things. And I'm here to tell you guys right now, I kind of agree with both sides. Starting with what works in this movie, I thought the action of this movie surprisingly was great. It's a PG-13 Predator movie, and that was another thing that really set me off the wrong way going into it. I mean, Predator movies should be rated R. They should be gory. They should be bloody. They should be very violent. However, this movie found the right sort of leeway to make it a violent, gory Predator movie while still making PG-13. They just didn't show red blood. Like, for example, when Deck is fighting other species on this different planet, or when an android is leaking, or whatever it might be, none of it's red. It's all this very, very different colors. Purple, white, green, whatever it might be. So in a way, you can kind of have your cake and eat it too in that sense. You can have ultra-violent action without it being rated R. Also, I gotta give credit where it's due. I was really fascinated with the new world that this young Predator ventures to. It gave me a little bit of an Avatar vibe to it. Like, you come to this planet, you have no idea really what's on there, you have no familiarity. There's a lot of really dangerous creatures that you don't really know how to make your way through. He has to trust someone from this planet to kind of guide him through it, be like, okay, you can work with this, or you should avoid this, or you might be able to survive that. Like, it was a really cool looking planet, visually speaking, but the movie was actually able to add a lot of context to it to make it feel like a world. I will say, Deck as a character was interesting. The Predator, anyways, who's like the main star of this show. First of all, I will say, his appearance, his look, while it's not the best looking Predator we have seen, you quickly realize it's meant to be that way because he is meant to be the runt of his clan. He's not supposed to look like his, his fellow Predators who look way more the part than he does. I will respect the movie for taking a unique route with the Predator, making the Predator the hero, or maybe not even hero, more like anti-hero of the story. Because it's not like he's this super nice guy, or like he's this hero of sorts who does a lot of honorable things, but he is more in that sense, like, he's still a dick, he's an asshole, and his goal is to kill, but he has moments where, you really feel for him. When he was cast out by his clan, they want nothing to do with him, they believe they're better off with him dead. He's on this journey to prove himself, he's on this journey to show his clan and his kind that he is a Predator. It's an underdog story, and everyone loves themselves a good underdog story. However, if I am being honest, I do absolutely 100% prefer the Predator as the villain of the Predator movie, because that's kind of the point of what it's always meant to be. It would be kind of like you saw an alien movie, and in this alien movie, the alien was the hero. Like, that's going around torturing a ship and killing people. Like, yeah, that's what we're supposed to be rooting for. We're supposed to be on that side. That would feel weird. So undeniably, in this movie, when we're supposed to be rooting for this Predator and he's supposed to be the hero of the story, it feels different and it's a little bit too different. Like, the very bold direction, it's a different direction to take the new Predator movie, and I understand that. You want to give this franchise something new, something that works. But at the same time, I mean, if the idea of a Predator going around hunting people and putting fear into them, if that isn't broken, don't fix it. Elle Fanning as Thea, I also thought was an interesting character in this movie. I can appreciate the dynamic that she has with Deck here in terms of, like, you know, what she's out to accomplish, how they can potentially help one another, you know, what she provides to him, because in a lot of ways, she's a little bit like the annoying sidekick. Like, she clearly knows a lot about this planet, but she loves to talk. She's trying to get to know Deck in a lot of different ways, and Deck kind of the whole time as he's walking around with her, he's like, can you just shut the fuck up for 5 seconds? Which does make for some funny moments here and there. It makes for a very interesting sort of banter and chemistry between the two of them. There does come a point, though, with Thea where she does start to get a little bit annoying. I mean, you feel like maybe the movie's trying to make you feel that way because you're supposed to relate to Deck and he finds her annoying, so you're supposed to as well. But there are certain points where I feel like the movie really wanted me to care more about her character, and I just couldn't really. Like, there's a storyline with her that I feel like you're supposed to be involved in, but I don't know, I just didn't really care that much about it because she's not really the lead of this movie. Deck is. It's Deck's story that we're invested into. And yeah, when people say this movie is Disney-fied, there are moments with her where the joke goes on a little bit too long. It's like that MCU humor, you know? Like, the movie could be going for a more dramatic, more serious moment, and you actually might be locked into the movie a little bit more, but then someone cracks a joke or someone does something silly and you're like, you just killed the moment. I will say, I think because of that, the movie really lacks what makes Predator movies special. It's that level of suspense and scares even that have you on the edge of your seat. Like, every Predator movie that came before, all the good ones anyway, well, frankly, there's not that many good ones, but the ones that were able to do it right, you were on the edge of your seat. You know something's out there. You know a predator is out there, but you don't know how he's going to strike, how he's going to kill. You don't always know who or what might be in danger. And again, I understand. In this movie, the predator is supposed to be the hero of that story. However, he is on a planet full of so many things that can destroy you. If nothing else, I feel like the movie should have held on to that level of fear, that level of intensity that comes with a Predator movie. I mean, he's on a planet, things are hunting him, things are trying to kill him. And there were moments where I feel like the movie could have been a little bit more intense, had me on the edge of my seat, and it didn't really. Like, Predator movies are perfectly described to as action thrillers. This one, I feel like, took out a lot of the thriller and went with more of the action. As a result, again, it makes the movie feel a little bit empty. So all in all, I know it sounds like I might have been ripping on this movie a little too harshly. I do think Predator Badlands is solid. The action in this movie is a lot of fun. I do appreciate that the movie was able to be violent in the PG-13 way that was still effective. The sci-fi elements in this movie really work. I love seeing the Predator weaponry. That brings me back some nostalgia, brings me back the feels from the original Predator. The world that Deck explores I thought was really cool. I love the level of context and the level of development that the planet got. Made it feel like a world. Thea and Deck have solid chemistry between each other. Sometimes it leads to funny moments. Other moments it can be kind of annoying and unnecessary humor. And ultimately the biggest detriment going for this movie is it just doesn't feel really like a Predator movie. You know, in the sense they made the Predator the character we're supposed to root for. It took away a lot of the thrills and suspenseful moments that we love and want in a Predator movie, or at least I do anyway. In the end, I'm going to give you a very controversial take, but one that I think is fun, so I want you all to hear me out right here. I would compare Predator Badlands in a lot of ways to Star Wars The Last Jedi. I know, some of you might think that's a huge insult. It's actually not really. I mean, now granted, I was one of maybe 3 people in this world who did not hate The Last Jedi. In fact, I loved The Last Jedi when I first saw it. Because for me, when I went into Star Wars The Last Jedi and when I walked out of it, I was really impressed with it as a sci-fi movie. I appreciated the bold, new, fresh direction that it took Star Wars because, especially after The Force Awakens, which felt familiar, I wanted something that was new and unique with Star Wars. However, there were people out there, die-hard Star Wars fans just like myself, who saw The Last Jedi and went, this does not feel like Star Wars at all. I don't like this. People felt it was too bold. It was way too different. They took way too many leaps that they should not have taken. And that's perfectly understandable. I mean, I love Star Wars very much, and frankly, the way Disney has face fucked Star Wars into the ground. It's really made me kind of abandon The Last Jedi, along with most Disney Star Wars movies. But ultimately, I think Predator Badlands is very similar in that sense. You have a movie that's very different, very unique to other Predator movies, takes some bold risks, takes some very unique choices, and takes some chances that people out there might be like, wow, this is really cool, this is really unique, this is awesome, I love seeing this for Predator. And other people out there who love Predator, like myself, might say, this is a little too bold, this is a little too different. It's a solid, impressive sci-fi movie that doesn't really feel like Predator. That's ultimately what I think Predator Badlands and Star Wars The Last Jedi have in common. I think at their core, they're solid sci-fi movies, but when you compare them to the franchise they're supposed to represent, it doesn't really work. So with that, I'm going to give Predator Badlands a 6 out of 10, which, as a sci-fi movie, I think it's one worth checking out. But I'd still wait to stream it.
Sorry, I'm watching a movie on my iPad.
Next Predator movie we get, I'd really appreciate it if they stick to making the Predator the villain and the monster of the story. Because that's just how Predator, I think, should be. So that's all I gotta say, guys. Thank you so much for watching my video. And as always, don't leave a comment, like, subscribe, and I will see you all next time.